Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is... Hold on a second. I think my mic was too low. I think that's better. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Today is Monday, January 8th, 2024. For me, this is kind of really the start of 2024 because my kids finally went back to school. They had a very long winter Christmas break. Now they're back at it today. Overall, things went relatively well this morning. I thought it would be much more of a grind getting everyone out of bed and back to the regular routine, but so far so good, and hopefully that's the way it is for you guys as well. Happy New Year's to you guys. Although, we had a live stream? We had live streams already this year. I think we had 2 already, but you know, we're kicking it off again. We're saying Happy New Year's in case you haven't been here yet in the new year. So welcome. So especially want to say hi to everyone listening on the podcast on the audio only version. Hopefully having a good run out there. A lot of the country got a lot of snow. We're going to get some snow here maybe tonight, tomorrow in the Midwest. So it is a perfect texture for running, but be safe out there, everybody. And for everyone watching this later but not live, maybe you are watching this because you are snowed in which case, grab yourself a cup of coffee or some hot chocolate, something warm, maybe even some tea if you're a tea drinker. And let's get settled in. All right, let's see who we got in the chat here. We got MDCT92 says, yo, never been able to catch a live stream while it's actually happening. Hope you're doing well, Co. I'm doing well today. Overall, let's say overall, there's, good and bad, and we can get into it a little bit. I did mention in the post for this that I'm in the taper now. We got less than a week till Houston. I'm kind of behind on a couple things. I really thought I'd have some details for the shakeout run ready by now, but hopefully I'll be able to get that done today, later today. I don't have it yet. But body-wise, I feel like I'm doing all right. We'll see. I got a light workout that I'm going to do after the live stream today. Otherwise, I'm feeling really, really good. Maybe too good. That kind of thing. Oh, excuse me. I had a little bit of a tickle in my throat. I had to shovel down some lunch before I came down here. Black Hopper says, you know what? Houston weather's looking unpredictable right now. Currently, there is a rainstorm. Okay. Ooh, that's not going to be good because I'm going to be racing in these. Where are they? The Evo 1. Take them out. If it's raining, these slicks might be a little bit dangerous, but that would make for a pretty epic test. So, I don't know. The last time I looked at it, it looked like it was going to be a touch on the warm side, which I'm overall not too upset about. But it was going to be very, very windy, which I know that Houston windy means that certain parts of the course, i.e. like the last mile, are going to be very windy. So hopefully like the nation will get all the weather out of its system and I'll be able to fly down there safely and easily and we'll have good race weather. Nick B says, hey, Co, Happy New Year. Finally back to being able to watch live again. Awesome. This is a beautiful dog here, by the way, Nick. By the way, guys, I think we should do it. We got to start this year off with a hello good dog. So if you've got a dog that's listening right now, or if you're later, I guess the later but not lives wouldn't be able to tell me now, so I can't tell you now, but you can put it in the comments and I'll get you guys next time. But if you guys got a dog that's listening, let me know. I'd love to say hi to your dog. By the way, I just found this account on Threads, which I've been spending way too much time there, by the way, but I've been enjoying it. I found this account on Threads called Can You Pet the Dog? And all it is clips of this person. I don't know if it's this person or if this person's collecting and aggregating and stealing the other people's footage or what. But it's just footage of when you're in a game, can you pet the dog? And it's amazing. And it's very strange how often in games you wouldn't think the game developers would care if you can pet the dog, but you can pet the dog. And that's my current favorite new Threads account right now. All right. Meredith says, I have a Woodle named Winston. Also good to be watching live again. What is a Woodle? You don't have to tell me what that is, Meredith. Oh, is this Winston? Hello, good dog. Winston, how are you? Winston. Good boy. Good boy, Winston. Crunchy says, Cooper and Frankie, who are a Jack Russell and a pug, are both tuning in with me right now. Copper, Frankie. Good dogs. Good boys. Boys? Yeah, good boys. Good dogs, Copper. Good job, Frankie. William Wang has Parker. Parker, are you here? Parker. Good dog. Good dog. And Nick V says, the dog in my profile is my son Kirby, also watching live. Good dog, Kirby. Oh, what a good dog. That's a good looking dog. That's a very good looking dog. And Meredith says, a Woodle is a Wheaton Terrier and Poodle mix. That is a cute pup. And Carlo Cabela says, I have a toy poodle named Sammy that listens every day. Good boy, Sammy. Sammy, come here. Sammy. Good dog. All right. That was fun. All right, guys, I got to check my phone because today I posted the review of the Puma Fast R2 because I've had it for forever. I've had it since TRE, December. And I could have swore that at the thing, someone got up on a bench and said, this is the global launch event for Fast R2. For those of you who have known about it, who have had it prior to then, which I didn't, this is the global embargo lift day. I thought they said global, but I know they said embargo lift day. And I finally got around to making my review video. I've got 40 miles in the shoe already. Really like it. And then Ed Bud commented and was like, yeah, this is a great shoe. I just can't talk about it yet. So I messaged Ed and I'm like, hey, is this still under embargo? And he's like, yeah, it fell February 1st for me. He's like, might be different for you guys in the States. So I emailed my contact over at Puma and was like, hey, is this still under embargo? I could have swore I was not. But if you need me to, I will take it down. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, Eric says the Fast R2 looks good. Sharp. Great review. Thanks. You know what's funny is I guess this is good because the energy the energy is right, but the way it comes out for some reviews, it's interesting. I've had a couple of people that are like, yeah, this shoe is ugly. And I'm like, I think you missed the point of the review. You know, and they're not just like, I don't like the look of the shoe. They're like, this shoe looks bizarre and therefore it's not a good shoe, kind of that energy. And I'm just like, have you tried it? You want to try running in it? You might like it. That's basically the premise of the entire video. It looks weird, but it's really good. So, I don't know. So, but we'll see. I'm keeping my email open and I'll be checking it. I don't mean to be rude here as I'm looking at my phone, but just to make sure no one's like, oh yeah, by the way, it still is. I mean, the cat's kind of out of the bag. No Puma pun intended, but I don't know. I'll be happy to take it down if that makes things easy for them. Frank says, I feel like I've seen it all over the place. If it's still under embargo, it wasn't a well-kept secret. Yeah, so here's one of the things that I dislike most about embargoes, because this seems to be a new thing that's happening. Some brands, I'm not saying Puma's doing this, but some brands like the publicity of leaked photos or early sneak peeks, but just don't want reviews to release until a certain day. I don't understand. But that's what they want. And fine, it's your shoe. You can do with it what you want. I'll comply. And so there's still some of that it could be some of that thing. But my overall thought is they've released the shoe. It came out in December. There's an Ekiden pack that came out. And so it seems really weird to hold back reviews on something that has been released to the public, even if it's limited, I don't know. And Calvin says, get in the view before it's gone. Act fast. It might go away. But if it does, Ed Bud's embargoes until February 1st. I don't know if I'm saying too much, but yeah, so no email responses yet. Okay. And Scott Hilton said, I completed my first 100K at the Brazos Bend Ultra. That's amazing. Well done. And it was held at, I don't know how to say that, 7IL Ranch this year due to a location change. Sore but happy about completing it. That's amazing. Great job completing the run. Let's see. And Adam says, isn't Molly going to wear the new Deviant Nitro Elite instead of the Fast R? That is correct. That's what she said. I had a chance, I didn't speak with her myself, but she was there with Rory Linkletter at the media event in Austin. And they talked about it. Rory ran in the Fast R2 when he paced Molly at Chicago. Rory really likes it. I think Rory announced that he's running another marathon. I knew about it because we've talked about it before when I interviewed him last, but he just announced it, and I believe that's the shoe he's going to be wearing. That's what he said at the event. And then, but they also talked about how, like, now Puma has two different kinds of shoes that are built for two different sets of preferences, essentially, at this point. And Molly prefers the Deviate Nitro Elite still. Yeah, it was interesting because I think she had tested it early at some point and had made a comment about it on Strava, and I guess it had made the rounds, but I hadn't seen that. And so when I was there and I was like, "Oh, Molly's here, Rory Linkler's here, that's cool." At the Puma event, to the Puma people, they're like, "Yeah, and I know that Molly's been very vocal about not loving the Deviate, the Fast Hard 2," and I'm like, "I didn't know that." And they're like, "Yeah, she prefers the Deviate Nitro Elite." So that's not like a secret. It's just, I think, what she prefers. That's the mechanics that she likes. And I suspect that the reason why I don't love the Deviate Nitro Elite is because it's built for someone whose preferences are very different than mine are. I think that the Deviate Nitro Elite probably from the beginning has always been very much suited to what Molly needs. That's kind of looking back in retrospect. I'm guessing that's kind of how it got developed. But yeah. All right. Calvin says, would you go Fast R2 or Rebellion Pro if you're using the Evo 1s for Houston? Ooh, both would be really fun. I am a little bit of a sucker for recency. I like novelty. So I'd probably go with the Fast R2. So if it was like Fast R2 versus Rebellion Pro, I might go with I would go with the Fast R2 over the Rebellion Pro. The Rebellion Pro seems to be settling in nicely for me. In the beginning, I thought it was a little bit too firm, but now it seems to have softened up. I think I've just compressed that Energy foam that's in there, and so I actually like the way it feels now. It'll be interesting to see how long it stays like in a sweet spot for me. But both would be good, really good. And I initially thought that the Rebellion Pro, at least for me, might be better as a half marathon shoe than a marathon shoe. So it would be a really good choice. But I think I would go with the Fast R2. I like it. And Adam says, did you see Emma dropped out of the marathon trials? I wonder if she'll try for the 10,000 meters in June. It's an interest. Yeah, I did see that. I saw she posted a video, I think it was yesterday, telling everyone that she's going to withdraw, which is interesting because it's really far out. I mean, I guess it's not really far out. It's like three and a half, less than 4 weeks out, right? Is that how far we are from the trial? So it's not that far, but like I really wasn't expecting to see anyone discuss, that they weren't going to be running until like within 10 days, like within 7 days even. Because that's just how things go with racing. It's very rare that people announce things like that, that far out. So that was an interesting choice that she made, which I'm not going to try to read too much into it because you could speculate all day. But it's a bummer because I do feel like she was one of the favorites to be able to make that team. I mean, it's hard. I mean, there's like a dozen favorites, but like I really feel like part of me had kind of mapped out already in my mind. I'm like, all right, well, let's see if we can, follow Emma all the way to Paris kind of thing. So those were like ideas that I was going to be trying to pitch, but that's how confident I felt. Like that she was someone that was worth planning ahead for. Not worth, but like had the possibility and the potential. So it was a real surprise to see that. But I mean, tearing your plantar fascia is not a tiny thing either, And so, I'm glad to see that she is doing workouts again, she said. And like, I feel like she kind of was forecasting it to us too. I remember thinking like we saw a lot of cross training reels and stuff like that on her socials. And I was just like, I think she's dropping hints here to people. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. Maybe that's just like she was feeling like, hey, this is a good place to shoot a reel, and she's not thinking about it. But that's kind of the impression that I got. And so it wasn't a huge surprise to me when she made the announcement. It's obviously very final once you make that announcement, but it's a bummer. Overall, it's a bummer. And I don't know if she'll try for the 10,000. June is a lot longer away. There's plenty of time for her to get there. But I just remember so many people after the trials last time saying like, all right, well, that's why I dropped out early, because I want to be able to then shift gears and try to speed up for the 10,000. And I just remember that being such a giant field. I don't know. I think the other thing that we actually just talked about it quite a bit on the relay podcast. We just filmed one right before this today. So we'll be talking about it. It'll come out tomorrow, I think. I think something else to consider is, given how early the trials are this year, it's like February 2nd. In theory, that gives you 2.5 months almost to get ready for Boston. So if you either are not going to run like Emma isn't, or if you get to the starting line really banged up and you realize very quickly that is not your day, or maybe you're in peak fitness and you realize early that you're not going to be able to make the team that day, maybe you bail and then regroup for a strong Boston finish. Like, what's more valuable, coming in 8th in the trials in the 10,000 meters, or coming in as top 3 American in Boston, So I just feel like initially on the relay podcast, I had mentioned that I'm like, Boston might be kind of quiet, at least from the American field. But now that I think about it, 2.5 months is enough time for some of the pros, depending on how they end up not making the team. You know what I mean? I don't know. All right. Sorry, I was ranting for a little while. P.S. Says, hi, Kabuzi. Love all your videos. You were the first channel that I subscribed to when I started running a year back. I'm going to run my first half marathon in 2 weeks. Thanks for all the motivation. Well, awesome, P.S. You'll have to let us know how it goes. Which half marathon are you running? I've been seeing that on my Instagram feed, there's a decent number of people training for half marathons right now, and it doesn't seem to be Houston. I think some people were training for Dopey Challenge, which was this last weekend. Tony, is Tony here? He might be traveling still, but Tony did it with Nadia. It's really cool to follow them. They wore costumes. Well, Tony didn't wear a costume every race, but he did wear at least one costume. So that was fun. So congratulations to all you Dopey Challenge finishers. And then there's other half marathons coming up. I got Houston this weekend. You guys got some other stuff. P.S. says he's in India running the Tata Mumbai Marathon. Oh, so cool. That's awesome. Nice. Is it flat? Is it hilly? I don't know anything about it. And Frank Lahuli says, so what's the taper protocol for a half? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I should have asked Sage more detailed questions about it, and when I had a chance to talk to him and ask him about it. But I think that what I'm basically doing is I normally do like a 10-day taper for a marathon, and instead what I did was just, I'm on 9-day cycles now. So basically 9 days out from the half marathon, I just did everything easier. So my 10-mile runs are turning into 8-mile runs last week. My workouts got cut in half. Today I have a light workout schedule. I think I'm going to do I've been doing the 8x800. I might do 3x800, just to remind the body that it's still work time. If you back off too much, I feel like your body goes into recovery and hibernation mode, and so it's like, I don't want to stimulate that response yet. So we got to still keep working a little bit. I didn't go to I don't think I went to the gym last week. I don't think I'll go to the gym this week. Maybe if I do, it'll just be there to do mobility work kind of thing. So that's where it is. And then Thursday, I'll have one more light workout. Again, probably just some extended strides. Maybe I'll do like a mile at threshold or half a mile at threshold kind of thing. Just, again, to remind the body that we're still in work mode. And then Sunday's the race. So, keeping the runs to about 7 or 8 miles on easy days. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go, really. Stevie76 says, CIM posted the 7 most tracked athletes. They posted the 8 most tracked athletes. It was Nick Bear, SJD, Adam Wood, who you guys have seen on the Kabuzi Run Club channel. Caitlin Miller. I'm sure, I don't know if you guys follow her on Instagram. She has a huge following. Eric Floberg, who you guys all know. Kate Southkeen. And Megan Murray. And then number 8 was CJ Albertson. So I thought that was interesting. I thought it was super interesting. And I posted about it on Threads on Instagram today. And yeah, my general premise is that like it shouldn't be this way. It's great. I know many of those people, you know. And it's good to see them getting the attention. But I also feel like it's kind of a shame that like at this point, does anyone really even remember who second or third was at CIM? It seems weird, you know. Does anyone remember who was the first woman? It seems weird, right? That's weird that at a race that, I mean, I know CIM isn't a world major, but you know, that means that there's a gap between, and it also means that like people are interested in following runners. They're interested in runners' stories. And so like, it's like, who are they following though? So yeah. Steven C says, are you tempted to do 3 to 4 strides for any of your easy runs just to keep your legs turning over? No, I do strides every once in a while, but as I admitted to Sage when I talked to him, I really only do strides when I'm testing a shoe. And today I tested these, the Rebel 4s. I believe I'm allowed to talk about these. I tested these yesterday, and so I made the reel for them today. And I did do some strides yesterday. So that way you have I had some footage of myself running fast in the shoes for the reel. That's usually the only time I do strides. But I might do strides later this week just to keep the body, you know, awake. All right. Jorge Luis Hernandez. I think this is a running shoe question of the day. Oh, I made that real loud. Sorry, guys. Jorge Luis Hernandez says, "Hey, Co, it's my first time I've ever taken a pair to 265 plus miles in the Clifton Nines. How will I know when it's time to retire the shoes? Will they feel noticeably different as they reach the end of their life? Thank you." Yeah, I would probably start looking for a new shoe relatively soon. Something that you could pick up in the next 2 to 3 weeks or a month. You know, so if you're going to do some research and trying to think about what you want to get next, now's a good time. If you're just going to get another pair of Clifton 9s, and I guess you got a little bit more time. But yeah, everyone's mileage varies, right? Depends on how you use it. Depends on how many consecutive days you're using it, how long per runs you're using it, what your surfaces is, temperature, and time of year, and if you're doing any casual walking in it as well. But the way that I think of it is your shoe will tell you when it's done if you're listening for it. And for me, that was usually like, I just went on another easy run, and all of a sudden, I don't know, my heel kind of hurts now after the end of it. So your body will just feel that the foam has compressed more, and it's unable to decompress as much. And that's kind of like how you know the foam has pretty much lived its useful life, you know. So that's how I would do it. I mean, if you hopped in a brand new pair of shoes right now, you would notice the difference immediately. Just because you can notice a difference doesn't mean that the shoe's dead. You can still use it, but you know, I would start being a little bit more careful. And I guess, like, let's say, for example, Jorge, if you were about to run a race, but you had maybe like 4 more weeks of training left, I might kind of like err on the side of caution and get a fresher pair. So that way, as your mileage is at the highest, as you're at your training peak, you're not also running on your weakest equipment at that point. You know what I mean? So some people might say you can get way more mileage out of it. Maybe you can, maybe you won't. But I always just feel like I'd rather leave a couple of miles in the shoe than end up with a hurt knee or a hurt ankle or something like that. Not to say that you're gonna have like a require surgery kind of ankle, but you know, it's extra wear and tear. If the foam isn't cushioning your impact, your body is, kind of thing. Make sense? Eric Paramount says, going back to the CIM and the tracker thing, if you're not first, you're tracked. I like that. All right. All right. Daniel Estrella says, so how are the Rebel 4s? Can I do a quick 10-second review? I'm actually not sure if I could talk about it. Here's the email response that I got. I asked about embargo specifically. I'm supposed to be getting the SE Elite version 4 today. The tracker says I should be getting it this evening. And I emailed back. I was like, hey, can you tell me what the embargoes are for these? And they're like, full embargo lifts on the SE Elite 4 January 8th. That's today. That's why you're seeing reviews of it today. And they said embargo lift on the Rebel 8, on the Rebel 4, also 1/8 today. And so that's why you've seen reels about it today. But I haven't seen any reviews on the Rebel 4 yet out there. So I don't know if that means showing the shoe embargo is done, but review embargo is over. But anyway, so I don't know what that means. But the email that I have says embargo lift 1/8. So I'll give you a 10-second review. I feel like they have always, I've been told that the Rebel was always supposed to be a daily trainer and has never been more of a daily trainer than now. People that loved versions 1 and 2, I don't know if you're going to like Rebel 4. But I also feel like so far, and I think I need to run a lot more in it because it's giving me a couple of mixed signals. I think that kind of like the Rebel 3, I ended up really loving it after about 3 runs. Not because the shoe broke in, but because I was finally figuring it out a little bit more. It's much more, the Rebel has always been kind of a curveball shoe for me. I don't know why. But right now, I kind of feel like the Rebel 4 is what I've always wanted the Invincible to be. The Invincible, to me, ended up being a really great tempo shoe, like marathon effort pace. But when I first saw it, I was like, ZoomX foam, thick cushion, no bite. This is going to be like a nice, cushioned, easy, chill shoe. The Invincible is not. But the Rebel 4 is giving me a lot of like, this is what the Invincible, I think this is what they were going for. Or maybe for some people, you love the Invincible for easy runs. I feel like I'm feeling in the Rebel 4 what you guys feel in the Invincible. So far, that's very, very preliminary. I did see some strides in it. You know, I'll be checking some other paces out, checking a variety of different distances. I'm also tapering, so I'm not really pushing the shoes right now. So we'll get some more time for thoughts later. But early on, I feel like Invincible people are going to be pretty happy with it. All right, let's see what else we got here. Eric Verge says, favorite winter tights. I love my Smart Wool wind tights, but got some wear holes downstairs after a little over 1 winter of use. Good thing Smartwool has stellar 2-year warranty on their items. Ooh, nice. Solid. Right now, I have been am I out of focus or are my glasses just foggy? I think I'm out of focus. Okay. I think I'm back in focus. I can't tell. My glasses need a thorough cleaning, so it's hard for me to tell. Half tights that I really am enjoying. CLA, full length tight, really nice. Not super insulated, so good for very cold, but like very, very, very cold. I might reach for something else. But a good winter tight. I love the Rabbit full length tights. They're just full length versions of the half tights that I love. They have a regular version and then also a lined version that has fleece in it. That one is super, super warm. A lot of the times whenever I end up wearing those, I just sweat a bunch because it's too warm. But winter is going to get colder. And then Janji just made one that I really like that has kind of like a double padding up front, which I'm really excited to start testing that one a lot more when it becomes really, really cold, because I also do like just all the other regular Janji full-length tights. So those are 3 brands that I think are really nice. Yeah, Daniel Burton and Eric Fensky said, like, SJD did a review in the Rebel 4 like a week ago. Whoops. Yeah, I thought that someone said that he took his down and then he put it back up, or I'm not sure what happened. So, yeah, a lot of miscommunication happening in the review space right now, myself included. That reminds me, let's check on the email, make sure I didn't get an emergency. Hey, you got to take that down. Not that they would give me a takedown notice, but like, I asked them and I offered to take it down if it's under embargo. Okay, Steve Blackadar says, Believe in the Run released their TRE Rebel video today with their product manager, Danny. I think that means fully lifted embargo. I don't know that means fully lifted embargo. I think that means, like, until, I think some brands are just like, embargo means don't show it, don't review it, don't make videos about it, don't just, like, embargo means embargo, right? Other brands are like, everything except a review. So I think that would fall under everything except a review. So I'm not sure. I don't know. Okay, but Cosmic Pineapple Michael says, Road Trail Run posted the review of the Rebel 4 today. This is where I'm getting all my real embargo news. It's from you guys. Yeah, this is why I don't like them. It's very complicated, but it's a necessary evil, Sama says, the Rebel 4 is noticeably lighter than the Invincible. Is it? Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, definitely. All right. Jeff G says, thanks for the inspo, Mike. I just ran my second race and came in first in my age range. Nice. The 22:49 5K. Appreciate all the good info. I ran in Super Blast, comfy and fast. Great job, Jeff. Congratulations. That's amazing. Second place. Nice getting up there on the podium. Okay. TGI Friday says, just catching up to live. But going back to the Fast R2, the Doctors Running have a full review on their website. I can't find the date when it was posted. Okay. Then I feel like I'm fine. Yeah. And then what's funny is going back to that, because so to circle back on the story, Ed Bud was the one that mentioned it in one of the comments to the video that he can't talk about it yet. And so then I messaged him on DM and Instagram, talking about like basically what we've talked about here. And I was also like, yeah, but let's say even if there was like no embargo for the US, but embargo for the UK, that wouldn't be the first time I've heard of something like that. And that wouldn't even be the weirdest example of it by far. Because there's also other brands that do it even weirder. In terms of both the pictures are okay, but reviews are not. And even like one global region can talk about it and another one can't. So it gets all sorts of messed up. All right. Adam says, did you see Ali O's post about how much money she makes on YouTube and the time she spends on YouTube? I did see that one. That was pretty cool. It was interesting to watch. I feel like what I took away from it is that like I've seen a couple of other people in the endurance space make videos. I just saw Ruth Astley's video too. She's been making that video for a couple of years now. She's a triathlete for those of you guys who don't know. Not that I follow triathlon that closely anymore, but I've just started following her a long time ago because not only is she making good content, but she's also making that regular video. But I think given like relative to her size, when her videos hit, they really hit, which I think is awesome. Plus, I think also as a female creator, her viewing demographics are probably going to be very different than mine, in the sense that like her videos are not going to be 90% male, 10% female, and whatever else the other category of viewership that like buckets that YouTube aggregates. And so the fact that like some of her videos can have like over 100,000 views in a single year, means that like it's not easy, but there's potential to make videos that are very popular in the running space, that are not made by dudes or that are not targeted. Not that she's targeting, but like that are not kind of like primarily like dude videos. So I feel like those are all very promising things. It means that there are female runners out there that are watching YouTube, which is good. It means that I need to do a better job of making sure that I'm reaching those people if they want to be reached. They don't have to watch my videos, kind of thing. But yeah, so it was good. It was good. It was interesting to see that. Matthias Ventes says, like, you know what? We were out here doing the embargo, no embargo legwork for Kofuzi. I appreciate it. Yeah. Next, I'm going to have you guys email the brands for me. Tell them, hey, Kofuzi doesn't have these shoes. You got to send them. That's the other thing I could use some help on, which is something else I talked about on Threads recently. Yeah. But I'm glad that I mentioned it because to go back on that is I mentioned on Threads that like I don't always get the shoes right away. Sometimes I don't make a review for like 3 or 4 months after everyone else. And there's a lot of very reasonable reasons why that could be. Maybe I'm not big enough to get the shoes in that first round of seeded review units. Maybe there was miscommunication. Maybe they thought an agency was going to send it to me. Maybe the agency thought the brand was going to send it to me. Maybe someone dropped a ball somewhere. There's a lot of things, a lot of reasons why. Maybe they just ran out of, I'm sample size, but maybe they ran out of sample size units to send to reviewers. So there could be a lot of reasons why. And I basically was just complaining for a little while about that, but it explains why sometimes I don't have it. And the big downfall is I also hate emailing people. And so I'm not going to follow up and be like, hey, are you guys sending this or what? I'm just going to wait. And then sometimes I wait like 3 months and then I just go buy it myself, or I will finally send an email and say, can you guys send me one of these, please? Yeah. And so that's what we talked about. And it was nice to see that like a lot of people were like, oh, hey, that happens to you too. It happens to me all the time. And I thought it was just me and it made me feel bad. So I was like, oh, okay, no, it happens to me all the time. I'm like, it's happening to me right now. I'm seeing certain pairs of shoes on Instagram, apparently off embargo level 1. And they're out there. And I don't have them. And I'm just here in my patiently waiting phase. So that happens to everybody, I guess. Stevie 76 says, am I big enough? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You got it. Daniel Burton says, Co, what are you eating the night before the Houston half? There is a grocery store that is near downtown. I don't know what it's called. I don't remember. But they have like a hot bar. It's kind of like a Whole Foods, but it's an independent grocery store, I think. I don't remember what it's called there. And I also don't remember where my hotel is. Hopefully I have a hotel. I got to double check on that. But that's usually what I do is I buy a bunch of food from there and then I'll eat it in my hotel room the night before. So that's what I'll do the night before the Houston half. So I usually just get like if they got a hot bar, I'll just get a bunch of pasta. Usually there's potato wedges are usually pretty dependable at a hot bar. So I'll get a bunch of potato wedges, carby carbs. And Running Deegan Nate says, good luck with Houston, legend. Well, thanks so much, man. I've been thinking about where I'm going to line up on the morning of. And my goal is to get around 126 for my finishing time for the half marathon. And today I just saw my friend Seth Epley, who I met on the Hut Run Hut trip. He writes for Believe in the Run, and he works at a Fleet Feet in Texas. I had to think about it for a second. But I didn't know that, but he put on Instagram today that he's going to run Houston and try to run a 250. So I'm like, whoa, I like Seth. We've run together before. Maybe I'll just run with Seth for a while until I can't. Or until the full marathon splits off from the half, which is at the 7 mile-ish mark. So, yeah. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do that. Maybe that'll put me on pace for a 250, a 125, his 250, Opticon says, have I sneaked some embargoed shoes onto the shelving? I don't think so. Have I? No, I don't think I. No. Usually I keep the embargo shoes over there, off camera over there. No, but I think the Rebel 4 is fine. The Puma Fast R2 we've established is okay. I don't think there's anything else on here. Takumi Sen is off embargo. That's for sale. You can buy that now. Well, the press release on the Adidas website for the Takumi Sen 10 says that it's for sale starting January 1. But I've gotten comments saying that there's a dude in Australia that was like, hey, they're not for sale yet. And I looked on the US, then they're not for sale yet. So I don't know what's going on with the Takumi Sen, but it's definitely off embargo. I remember that. So I'm trying to think, what else could be on here? Nope. I don't think so. Steve Zervesco says, no pizza the night before the Houston Marathon? I mean, I probably will at some point. Maybe not the night before. I probably will. KSN says, hey, Code, just want a sneak peek. Did New Balance use new form for the Rebel before? They did. They definitely did. It is a PIBA EVA blend. I'd heard reports from people. I remember I didn't get a chance to meet with New Balance at TRE this year, but I'd heard from some people saying that the Rebel 4 was supposed to be all PIBA. That's not the case. It's PIBA EVA. And Go Running Oliver says, Sarah Hall will be signing autographs at the Houston Expo on Saturday. Yeah, I saw that. That seems very much out of something that Sarah Hall would normally do, so it's interesting. It also makes me think that, going into a half marathon 3 weeks out from the marathon trials is an interesting idea. She's not the only one that's racing the trials that's also going to be running the half. I think Nel Rojas is also running the half. As well as many others. But for her to be doing a PR event the day before seems like a lot of work. And so I'm wondering, for a lot of them, it's either are they going to run it half marathon fast, or are they going to do it like a workout, 10 miles at marathon effort, close out the last 5K, something like that? Or is it just tempo run? She'll do 5 miles before the half, tempo run the half, and then do another 5 miles after, something like that. I don't know. So it'll be interesting, but especially since she's going to be interacting with the public the day before. That's interesting, Vanessa Martinez says, which Fleet Feet does he work at Austin? He lives outside of Austin, Seth Epley. I forget which one it is, but it's a town whose name I don't remember. It's near Austin, but it's outside of Austin. So that's where I'll ask Seth. So that way you guys can go visit him if you guys are in the area. Richard Wilson says, I envision a new service. Is this shoe embargo? I'll just ask you guys. You guys will know. Eric Innumerable says, how strict are embargoes and what happens if content creators accidentally upload? Yeah, I mean, I think basically if you accidentally upload, you just won't get another one the next time. You know what I mean? So I feel like some are going to be harsher than, I feel like I haven't seen, I don't want to say zero. I don't know if I've seen. So I feel like in the technology space, like phones, laptops, that kind of thing, you're probably subject to an NDA, and there might be financial penalties contractually that are applicable. I've not really had that in the running space. I have signed NDAs with brands before when they've shown me really early stuff, like when I went to Adidas HQ, when I've been at ASICS. I've never been to ASICS HQ in Japan, but in Boston. Like when you see stuff really, really early, or when they're letting you in their buildings, there might be NDAs and stuff. And for those, there could be, by contract, some damages provisions, I guess. But I think just for regular shoes and stuff, they might ask you to take it down. And then you might not get any early pair next time, which is another reason why maybe that's why I don't get early pairs, because people know I'm going to mess it up. All right. Eric wants to know, what's the race strategy for Houston? I think the race strategy for Houston is going to be, let's see, I kind of gave you the one, if I could find Seth and run with him for the first half. But I also feel like even pacing doesn't tend to work for me in racing, just generally. For me, I kind of have to like sneak up to my fitness. I have to be like almost alarmingly slow in the beginning. And then really that's the only way that I have anything left to squeeze down for at the end. And that usually ends up being faster than an even split. So it ends up kind of working out. That's what happened in Tokyo, where I had like 725 miles for the first couple miles because of traffic. But then at the end, I felt like I had more to push. I felt like I could push, you know. So I think that's kind of what I'm going to be looking at. I tried looking at the elevation profile at Houston for the half, and the scale is all funny, but I think it gives me the general gist. I think that there's a couple of, to the extent that there are hills at Houston, and I think there are a couple, they're kind of backloaded, you know. So I think that if I go out a little bit hotter than I might be normally comfortable with, I don't think that's a terrible idea, but I don't know. I'll be going out either at 125 or 126 pace, and we'll see what we can do with it from there. I don't know. I think a lot of it's also going to depend on just how crazy is the weather going to be. I have a feeling we're not going to have ideal weather, but who knows? Who knows? All right, let me scroll down and catch up with you guys. Eric Hermon says the strategy is run hard, then run harder, and engage glutes. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that one. I like that one. One of my favorites, kind of like short race strategies, is run fast, don't die. You know, that's how I like to run workouts too. You know, I feel like it's applicable because then it's push, but you know, you also have to push smartly, I guess. You know, Mixtape Tony says, I plan to be on mile 3 and 11 at the Houston races to spectate. I want to track you. All right, I'll be going to the expo. I'm planning on getting there Saturday. I'd like to get there Friday if I can. I don't remember my flight schedule offhand. I don't think I'll have time to get there to the expo Friday, but as soon as I get my bib, I'll be posting a flat lay so you guys can see what the tracker is. Although I guess I can tell you now. I guess I have to check some of those emails. I'm sure it tells me in the emails what my bib number is. So CJS says, what half marathon training plan did you follow for this race, if any? I kind of made it up as I went, and then I was very lucky that Sage reached out and wanted to do kind of like a coaching collab type of video. I think basically he wanted to figure out what the heck I'm doing and why. And so he was able to give me a couple of pointers on how to fine tune the last couple of weeks, which was nice because I was kind of at a loss. I was like, I don't know, I'll just do stuff. So I kind of did what I would normally do for a marathon, but with some tweaks. Less focus on very long runs, more focus on very fast runs, like 5K pace. And Go Rolling with Oliver did mention that Sage just made a video about paces based off of me, apparently. I didn't see that one yet. I saw that he made like a Zone 2 video, but I'll have to go check that out. But Go Rolling with Oliver says, is it safe to eat Chipotle the day before a marathon? Which extra toppings would you avoid? I think that it depends on you and your gut, and you would know that your own gut better than I do. For me, I've eaten Chipotle the day before a marathon. I think pretty much every time I've ran CIM, I go to the Chipotle, I don't know why I said it that way. The Chipotle that's by the King Stadium. There's one right there. You know who also goes there like every day the day before? Like I see Mario Frioli there. I've seen Mario Frioli more at the Chipotle by the King Stadium than I have in any one other place in the country. Not that I've seen him that many times. But so before CIM, I usually do because it's like my hotel is usually near there. And then it's easy, it's fast, I'm off my feet quickly, and it's filling, and I like it. For me, it wouldn't give me any problem the day before, and it hasn't, and I didn't have to avoid anything. Although I might avoid, like, if you're a hot salsa guy, I might avoid some of the spicier stuff. Maybe go with medium or mild, you know. But if you're someone that's very sensitive to, like, having too much fiber the day before a race or a long run, then I might cut back on some of the beans that are in there. But yeah, otherwise I feel like Chipotle is fine for me. but I kind of have an iron gut, I like to think. Yeah. David P says, on the grocery store in Houston, are you talking about the Phoenician downtown around the convention center? I think that's it. That sounds familiar. It's a good grocery store. I like that one. If it's what I'm thinking of, I like that one. And JC says, Houston rolls a little bit at the end, but not too bad for the half marathon. All right. Okay, I'm hoping. If I remember correctly, the start is a little bit uphill. And so I'm going to try to really make sure I don't overdo it that first. You know what I mean? You don't want to blow through your race plan the first quarter mile, you know? David P says, it should be nice for Houston. There's a cold front coming on Friday, but a nice 40 degrees at the start of the race. Ooh, okay. Is it going to be windy, though? I keep seeing the wind. Oh, JC says, I understand why, but I thought it was odd that Houston wanted you to narrow your pack-up pickup to within 15 minutes. That seems, I need to check my emails then because I didn't see that. All right, Go Willing with Oliver knows my bib. It's 22, 22, 6. Awesome. Well, thank you. That makes it a lot easier. And Sega Dreamcast says, Ben Parks eats Chipotle before his marathons in the U.S. Absolute iron guts on all y'all who do that. That's fun. I like that. And where'd it go? Oh, Richard Wilson says, I love spicy, but I have to avoid it before races. And you just say no to fiber. I think it's a safe bet, you know. And Brian Lang says, any tips on modeling for a running photography shoot? Doing a shoot with Ultra next month, and I don't know what to wear. I have no idea. Are they going to provide clothes for you for that one? Because I'm guessing it's probably one of two things. Either they're going to provide and send you clothes to wear for the shoot, or they're saying, like, we'd prefer if you wear Ultra clothes if you don't have them, stuff with no logos on it. Is probably what they're going to say. And if not, that's a safer way to go. So like for me, if like Ultra were sending me on a trip, I would go onto the Ultra website and see if I can buy like, I don't know if I need all Ultra head to toe for every day of the trip, but I'd want most of it to be Ultra. If it's for a photo shoot, you know, you can buy like, depending on where it is, like leggings or shorts. Does Ultra make sure? I don't even know if Ultra makes clothes. That's the thing. I know they make t-shirts. I have an Ultra t-shirt. But other than that, I don't know if they make like jackets or long sleeves or full tights. I don't know. If not, I would go with something that has minimal branding. I would say like Path Projects is going to be great. John G is going to be really good. Craft is usually pretty good, depending on. Sometimes there's bigger logos than others, but you can just find like, for me, like solid colors, nothing too crazy. Because if you're going there for a shoe photo shoot, you want the shoes to pop. So if you are in charge of your own wardrobe, I would say wear something like really boring clothes and then shoes that pop. Is that advice? Is that good advice? I don't know. I guess I had some thoughts on that. All right. Going with Oliver says, wind on Sunday is 7 miles per hour with 17 miles per hour. You guys are like all the internet research I should be doing in myself. I appreciate you guys so much. It's very helpful. Oliver says, Sunday, the wind's going to be 7 miles with 17 mile per hour gusts in Houston for the morning. That is, I could live with that for sure. The last time I looked at it, which admittedly was like 3 or 4 days ago, the last time I looked at it was 20 mile per hour winds with 45 mile per hour gusts. I was like, that is not a PR day. That is a let's just run and survive kind of day, you know? So, all right, cool. I can live with 7 mile per hour wind. Yeah, okay. Brian says they were going to send shoes only, bring your own clothes. Yeah, I would just go with just simple stuff, no logos or minimal logos. And Mika says that there are Ultra trail shorts and they're pretty good. Well, I might have to try some of those. Interesting. I like it. And Cosmo Pineapple Michael says, I also got the request to select a 15-minute window for when I'm picking up my Houston bib. It looks like they're trying to avoid bottlenecks with the amount of volunteers needed during the 2 days. That makes sense. All right. Hey, after Houston, I feel like every year after Houston, it's like Michelob Ultra is a sponsor, right? And they give out like free Ultras. The beers, not Ultras. I know we've been talking about Ultra shoes, but they give out Mick Ultras, the thin cans, you know? If you guys want to hang out after the race, that's where I'll be. Because they just give them out for free. There's no tickets. You don't have to pull them off your bib. They just give you as many beers as you want when you're hanging out there. So that's where I'll be. I feel like, if I remember correctly, after the race, what's the name of that grocery store that's a sponsor? They have like pancakes and sausages and stuff. You eat breakfast, and then you leave, and you can go to the grassy area. I guess with the half marathon, I'll be one of the earlier ones to finish. But like, later on in the day, that's where I'll be before I have to head to the airport. We'll drink Michelob Ultras. Rehydrate. All right. Vanessa Martinez says, my karate homeschool has a weird tradition where the candidates have to help serve a spaghetti dinner to the higher-ups while wearing our white gis and uniforms. Ooh, that's a challenge. That's bold. That's really bold. Oh, hopefully it's not too many spaghetti stains. Oh, my goodness. And Adam says, it's too bad they don't have real beer. Yeah, it is. But, every once in a while, Michelob Ultras are pretty nice. I feel like after a race, it's actually not bad. Like, if I recall correctly, you could there was an option for getting a real beer somewhere in the area. Maybe I think the other vendors. I'm not sure. I recall having something other than just Ultras that day. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But it's nice. The weather's usually nice by the time everyone's finished with their race. And I remember hanging out there last year for a long time. It was good. CV76 says, are you going to bring the pink suitcase? I did last year. I probably will this year too. I'm not planning on doing any interviews and stuff, so I will have minimal equipment with me. So yeah. I think pink suitcase is good. All right. That's going to be a good place to leave it for today, guys. Tomorrow, I still haven't got any emails about that shoe being under embargo. So I think we're okay. And plus, I think we already established that it's not under embargo for the Fast R2. But tomorrow, let's play a game. It's been a long time since we played a game. I have till tomorrow to think of one. We'll figure it out. I have some ideas. It's not going to be, is this under embargo? That won't be the game. That's the game we played today. But tomorrow we'll play a real game. Hopefully it'll be fun. No video because the video was today. So I'll see you tomorrow, same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. Until then, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.